So explain to us why you think your region of the South is the toughest dirt late model region in the country.
Well, for starters, I race against them guys all the time, and they make it. They don't give them to me. I have to still beat them at home. So, the racetracks are we have so many different characteristics. Where we race at, from either slick to bank to wide open. And like I said, for me to go win, like Cedar Lake last week, just coming off running Ray Cook deal, and I didn't win all of them, and every night was a dogfight. Then to go beat Jimmy and Sheppard and all them guys for a crown jewel, just shows you like how tough the guys are around our house. They all got good stuff, hard workers, and I'm just, like I said, I'm proud to go represent for them sometime.
Oh, simple. It's got to be the Midwest. I just love all the racetracks in the Midwest, and really when you get up in this area, Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota, actually, they have some pretty good racetracks too. I see all the time the tracks you're going to, and they look like places I want to go race at. But I just like the black dirt, and I don't know, a lot of fans up here too, Fairbury and this place for the USA Nationals. The fans are nuts. They're all over the pit area at night, and a lot of energy there. But it's got to be the Midwest for me. I grew up racing in the Midwest, and just everything about it fits me. So
I think it's because the tracks are slicker, honestly. I've raced a lot of places, and there ain't really nothing like that Ohio Valley. Like when it gets slick, there's no grit, there's no abrasion. Oddly, it seems like hard tires don't really work there, but it just does not build any tire heat. The tracks are really slick. I've raced all over. The only place I've ever been that gets anywhere close to as slick as as the tracks around West Virginia, Ohio area, or Eldora. It's northwest Ohio, but it gets really slick, and there's a lot of good competition everywhere. But if you're going to win a race in Ohio Valley area, you got to beat quite a few good guys, and everybody there. Racing in general, there's so much technology these days. Guys are getting faster by the week, and as slick and technical as those tracks are, I think that's one reason why it's tough to win there, and that's one reason why guys from that area can go win anywhere.
I'd have to say because of that 17 car. Zach Dome, he's with us every weekend. We always got Linville, we got Scott James, we got Jason Jameson, and we got Florence Speedway, man. They bring the cars all the time too, and we always run against the guys that are on the cushion. We got Zach Dome that we can't hardly keep up with on the bottom, but it never fails. But you can go to Lawrenceburg and have one car that shows up that's really good. You can have 10 that show up that are really good. But Kentucky, it always brings the good cars.
I don't know. It's we're born Southern, I guess. I don't know. It's there's a lot of good racers that come out of the South, and it's just the competition has been around Dixie and Rome and Cleveland, Tennessee, and all them back in the day when my dad and Leon Sells and Charlie Hughes and all them guys, they built it to where you had to show up and you had to have the best equipment, the best race car, and if you didn't have that, then you were tense. So everybody go home and work harder. It wasn't like we were out for blood back in the day, I guess, what my dad and them used to say, just fierce competitors and wanted to win every time they went on the racetrack.
That's hard because I feel like the Illinois side is tough. You have guys like Shirley and Pierce and Feger, and a guy like McKay Winger can stop in and lay it on you, or Mike Spatola or Gordy Gundaker can run around the bottom and do good. But then you go down to Mississippi, where I went a few years back, and then you have, all those guys. You have the Rickmans, you have Chad Thrash, you have all those guys. So, for me, Illinois is by far the toughest. That whole region right there. Iowa's kind of dead now, so I feel like Illinois has got drivers that can pull in and win a race, whether it's up here running for 50,000 or at Eldora running 50,000. I just feel like Illinois is the toughest spot.
Well, you got to look at the guys that come out of there. Chubb Frank, Ron Davies, which is Shane Clanton's father-in-law. Them guys grew up building cars because their parents and in-laws owned racetracks. So, I just think it's the old schoolness of it. Guys had to build their own stuff back then in the late 70s, early 80s, and there was just so many racetracks up there that you had a lot of guys that come out of that area that could go compete compete on a national level. That's really hard to say. I mean, I know Pennsylvania because that's where I grew up. You know, Lernerville, Lynn Geisler, Bob Waring Jr. I mean, take some old school names there. The guys that raced in the 80s and stuff, you know, could go out. So Pennsylvania is definitely, I mean, anybody will tell you, Eckert from down his way, you got Covert down that way, that Nathan Durbrow raced forever. So Pennsylvania is really one of the, in my mind, one of the topper regions, the level, you know. I mean, like Robbie Blair, he dominated for how many years? Now his son Max is, and the difference now is it's showing up the guys that are doing it for a living. There isn't as many, and on the regions, you've got guys that are working 50, 60 hours a week trying to compete against Max Blair. So it's not the same as it used to be, but still Pennsylvania, I think, is one of the top regions in this country.
I'm a homer. Illinois is, you know, by far my favorite place to race. It speaks for itself, you know, just all you gotta do is go to the Line I-100, go to the Prairie Dirt Classic, go to the Herald and View 100, you know, Summer Nationals. Every racetrack you go to in Illinois has potential to produce good racing. You know, a lot of places in the country you don't get that. You know, there's a lot of good tracks up here in Wisconsin, a lot of good race cars up here in Wisconsin too that I've noticed. But I think Illinois is, in my opinion, it's the toughest across the board, and I think a lot of guys will say the same thing.
Look at your polls. Look at your polls. No, I don't think there's any particular region's got the best drivers. Everywhere you go, anytime we roll into a daggone race somewhere, there's a local racer there that's really you got to watch out and watch your P's and Q's because they could kick your butt at any time. So, you know, I don't feel like there's any one region that stands out above the rest because, you know, once you show up to wherever and race, you've got your own group of competition you've got to compete with.
Honestly, racetrack-wise, I think we have the best racetracks in the country as in payouts and races. You know, we've got the Dream in the World Outdoor, we've got the Dirt Track World Championship. There's a lot of Lucas races right in my region, but the problem is you don't have Bart Hartman, Donnie Moran, Rick Auckland, all these guys there, you know. You got myself, Doug Drown, the Conleys, and it's just not quite where it was back in the day. Everywhere kind of goes through ups and downs where they get drivers and lose drivers, and there's not a lot of major drivers riding around us, but I'm sure in the future it'll get back up there, but still good local regional racing, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you know, I think I don't want to say there's anything against any other region. I do think that we race in the toughest region in the country because you come to the Midwest and, you know, you look at the first 8 summer national races, we had 7 different winners. And every night you line up against guys like Bab, Shirley, Heckenass, you know, Kent Robinson comes to town. Those guys, you know, Billy Moyer, Bobby Pierce, just the list goes on, and you got to race with those guys every night. And, you know, the good thing is that everybody that we race with, you know, usually we all travel down the road together and we, you know, race each other with respect. Yeah, we run into each other, but I'll tell you what, any given night you can roll in with 20, 30 guys that can win the feature.
Wow, you know, Illinois is Illinois dirt too, you know, Illinois tracks, Illinois everything. So I feel like Illinois is one of the toughest states. I'm not gonna say it's the best, I'm not gonna say it's not, but it's definitely one of the toughest tracks. I put it this way, there ain't nobody in Illinois. Brandon drives for the blue team, but I've never said this or to anybody really till now. You asked me this question, but Shirley's got a great team. I got a great team. Bobby's got a great team, but we don't have a Lucas Oil Rural Outlaw team from Illinois. I mean, Dennis Erb, perfect example. A lot of us own all our own shit and pay our own bills and struggle and drive the shit out of these things. And a lot of other states have, you know, big teams and drive for people and have a lot of other people fronting the bill. So I just think when you watch an Illinois race and team, you have some raw racing and shit happening and people ripping spoilers off and people giving it their all because Bab, me, Herb, I don't care if my family's got money or not. We got bills just like everybody else. So we're trying to do everything we can to pay them and drive the shit out of these cars. And I'm not saying them other states don't, but it just seems like a lot of other states have a lot more sponsored teams and people driving for other people than our state, and that's my opinion.
Well, there's that 4-hour span of North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, East Tennessee. You got Brendan Overton, Davenport, Chris Madden, Scott Bloomquist, Jimmy Owens. I don't think I have to name anymore, but Mike Marler. I mean, just so many guys out of our area that's just tough. I mean, Ross Bells. I don't know, man. These guys, they can go anywhere in the country, and it seems like here recently, 2 of the 3 are the top 3 in the country. And, when you show up and race at any track in the Southeast, there's always 5 or 10 regional guys that's going to come in and have a shot at winning no matter what. So I think we got one of the best regions there is.
Midwest, Illinois. Illinois is the best. It's got awesome racetracks. The racing's incredible. The fans, like at PDC, you can't beat the fans. Illinois is the best ever. They got some tough ones. I go with Illinois. I think Illinois's got a lot of very good ones. Yes, Illinois.
You just got a lot of people that got a lot of grit. They just they grew up with not a lot of money, and most people just they've done it all on their own. So they're trying to go as hard as they can, and just make a name for themselves. Like I said, not a lot of backing in that area. So a lot of people are just are hungry to win, and they're always fighting. It seems like it's a dogfight every time we race in the Kentucky, Indiana region. Everybody's real strong, and just can't ever count them out.
The tracks, how challenging are those for drivers? Is there a lot of diversity among the tracks?
Correct. Yeah, I mean we race on red dirt, sandy dirt. It seems like we're changing all the time and changing tire rules all the time. Like we're right on the edge of UMP country and then 1350, 1300 country. So it seems like we're switching it up all the time, and you just got to be really diverse.
Definitely. So I'm from the Southwest, and getting a bigger perspective on this part of the country really opened my eyes, and I really do think it's going to be the Midwest. I have to say the Midwest or the South. I say the Midwest because, of course, I have the Dirt Car Summer Nationals experience from the past now 3 seasons. So definitely those guys are always competitive. They always show up. You have big names like, Dennis Erb Jr., Bobby Pierce, Bab, Shirley, and of course you can't forget Brandon Sheppard, one of the hottest drivers in the country right now. But then I'm definitely going to do like those southern guys. I'm really going to say Tennessee in general. If I have to pick a state, it's going to be Tennessee. You have Scott Bloomquist, you have Dale McDowell. You just have so many good drivers there. So definitely Tennessee, but the Midwest will definitely dominate in competition-wise.
I would have to say probably the Midwest. Like Illinois, Indiana, all those places, but. I'm telling you, like we go to a lot of tracks to where like the locals are good. Florence. I'm just telling you, like those local guys, like Josh Rice, Jason Jameson. Those guys are hard to beat there. Like they can beat you in the heat race, and they can beat you in the feature too. But at the end of the day, it's just hard to go over there to the Illinois area and the UMP tires and. That's all they run, So I would have to say the Midwest for sure.
I think that the South actually is the best for late model racing. Now, when we were doing the mod stuff, the Midwest I think was really tough. But the South, everybody is there, all the technology is there, and late model racing runs so deep there. You can just go with the facts. A lot of the best drivers or drivers that have the best results are all from that area. The Tennessee, the Carolinas, and there's a lot of heavy hitters that come from that area.
For me, the Midwest has the best racetracks, produces the best racing. Schwab, I know you'll like that. But I don't know. I feel like drivers are pretty much all over the country. I feel like definitely on the East Coast, there's a bunch of pretty good guys. But I'd say the Midwest probably has the best racetracks. Outside of that region, what do you think is the next toughest dirt late model region in the country?
Definitely up in Springfield, St. Louis area, up in Illinois. You can't go up there and expect to win. Right out of the gate. You got to get a lot of experience in that area, and really, those guys got a big advantage on big cushion tracks and stuff like that because that's what they're used to. So. It's pretty cool to go up there and try to run against those guys, and you've really done something when you beat them and run good against them.
I would probably say just like out in Illinois, there's so many good guys from out there. You got Pierce, Babb, Unzicker, Shirley, Heckenash, Fager. that area probably has the most guys that still race locally, regionally, but can go run up front in these big races. So I would say probably that area.
Have to be Illinois. You got Billy Moyer, Shannon Mabb, all them guys. When we go to Fairbury, you got to be on your A game. You got all them guys, McKay Winger, all them guys up there. Yeah, it'd have to be Illinois.
It's got to be, you know, the Illinois guys. You know, you got Shirley and Bobby and you know, whoever else. Heck, and it's just all the guys up there. Bab, you know, I don't know. That's besides us. You know, that's all I can say is them guys. I love going to their racetracks too. You know, just going to Fairbury, seeing their fans and all that stuff. So, pretty cool.
Outside of your area, what do you think is the toughest region for dirt late model racing in the country?
I'd say Illinois. Them guys, they race 4 or 5 times during the week when they get to, and the Hell Tour shows that back in the day, just Bob Pierce and them guys, when they get to race every single day, it just makes you better.
I would say it's a battle between the Illinois boys and the guys down south, like you got Madden and Michael Page and all them guys, Brandon Overton, kind of that region. And then you go out to the Midwest and you have like Brian Shirley, Frank Eckenast, obviously Bobby and Brandon. They're both good at their regions, you know. You go up there and you got to race them guys. You go down there and you got to race them guys. They aren't that great at cross-platform, but when you go to those regions, they're both extremely tough.
It's always tough to go to Illinois and outrun the guys from out that way. You know, Sheppy and Bobby are, you know, two of the cream of the crop, but you got all your regional guys like Feger and Heckenass and Brian Shirley's a national guy. You know, just that whole, when you go to Fairbury, Farmer City, you know who you got to contend with, and they're always going to be up front.